Hiya gamers and happy Delta June. In this video I'm gonna spew my initial thoughts and ideas on the visuals given in the initial trailer for chapter 3 and 4 of Deltarune. I don't have any thoughts on the old footage, so let's just get into the new stuff. The knock your socks off mechanic with the shadow guys seems to work basically how it was described way back when. There's not much to add here. This boss or minigame or whatever it is seems to be the Mad Mew Mew Switch motion control equivalent for Deltarune due to the left and right thing. Whether it's a boss, a minigame, or whatever I'm not sure, but it seems to relate to Lesser Dog in some way. That means this could maybe be a light world thing. I've never even considered the idea of the dog bandits being in a dark world lol. Although one thing I haven't heard people talk about is that there may be a chapter where everyone is in the dark world, although I'd never expect that to be chapter 4. That would probably be saved for something more climactic like a later chapter. The rhythm game has a sign that says, Lighteners, and then something else under which is interesting. The second word starts with L and ends with E, so fill that in however you'd like. I'm gonna assume it says, Lobe, because we'll pacify the secret boss friend inside me by giving him a lobotomy and maybe some other surgeries to remove him of the microphone. I have no idea how several separate rhythm bits for each character will work at once, but I guess we'll see. Maybe it's just turn-based and this image makes it look more overwhelming than it is. On Steam there's an image of this scene that shows lyrics. We don't know if this will be sung lyrics like Don't Forget, or just text lyrics like Met at Ton's song. If I had to guess I'd guess they'll be like Met at Ton's song, but that's just because we haven't had lyrics in gameplay yet unless you count Big Shot, but they weren't presented as song lyrics with subtitles and stuff. This scene shows Chris and Susie falling down through shattered glass, both with different colors, although Chris almost goes back to normal after being thrown and then goes weird again. Like I said in my last two videos, I think the color palette of the characters reflect what they think is cool, but I don't feel like this is a change based on preference, so I'm not sure of the meaning of this. When Susie throws Chris up, it looks like the starting area before you fall into the dark world properly in chapter 1. This makes me think that Susie and Chris might immediately try and escape from the dark world at the start of chapter 4, as Susie might be throwing Chris back up to try and escape through the entrance. This is most definitely a church dark world based on the church windows. I wasn't even fully sold 100% on this idea like a lot of people were, but yeah, this is definitely a church dark world. I expect this to be the most serious chapter in the game up to this point by far, because even though it is a fictional religion, I don't think religion being made fun of in a chapter 2 style fashion would go over well. Also, Toby has made it absolutely clear that he believes 3 and 4 should be released together, and has specified 3 isn't particularly plot heavy. Even when he decided not to release 5 with 3 and 4, he still felt the need to release 4 with 3. He felt so strong about this that it delayed the release of 3. That makes me think the serious meat on the bone of this release will be attached to chapter 4. When it comes to Chris and Susie being different colors, I honestly have no idea. People say it's the dark world decaying or their abilities being weakened, which isn't that unique, but I can't think of much better. This clip of Tenna seems more three-dimensional than anything we've seen in Deltarune so far except for the Spamton Neo form in that one stage of the Neo fight. Pretty interesting stuff, especially if it's in-game. I don't know if this is a confirmation of his character design, or just an elaboration of the end of chapter 2 stinger image. When Susie and Chris are being chased across these platforms with the Deltarune logos on, these ball things seem to be made out of the same stuff as the Dark World Chris opens at the end of chapter 2, so these things may be made of pure darkness or something along those lines. This Steam image released shows enemies that seem very much to be from the Card Kingdom, and almost look like corrupted versions of the Rudins. They basically seem like the Rudins from chapter 1 if they got the chapter 2 face suck machine treatment. Fighting card-based enemies is quite weird. Could this mean Castletown may be taken over by enemies at some point in chapter 3 and 4 and our residents may be corrupted in some way? I assume these can't be new Card Kingdom residents who show up just now, so they could be corrupted Rudins or something maybe. I'm not really sure what to make of this Jockington image. It's cute and stuff, but I don't know guys. It seems to be matching the aura of the end bits where we close the dark worlds. But it's obviously not that. I guess it goes a long way to prove that Jockington will be in the chapter 4 dark world though. This is the first time we've got reference to a new Lightener being in a dark world in ages. I haven't even mentioned this individual. I think I'll keep it that way for now. The nice animation at the end shows the Fun Gang / Fuck Squad / Lancer fan club standing off against what we can presume is the Angel. This is more vague imagery in the same vein as the prophecy stuff in the legend, and I'm still not even sure what to make of that stuff yet 6 years later. I'm not one of those people who thinks Chris despises Ralsei. However, if you are, this moment is so funny lol. Look at their reaction to seeing Susie, and then look at their reaction to seeing Ralsei. I can't read anything from this other than utter disappointment. That's all I've got to say about the content shown in these trailers. Happy Delta June people. Thank you Silver Art for the thumbnail again, and thanks to everyone who supported my first 2 videos. People were very nice and I got some comments from famous online celebrities such as the Soph and Jaru, which was delightful for me. I was sat in my bed munching salad at 2 a.m. and I was taken aback when I got comments from the Soph. I don't even think I finished the salad, I was so stunned. I ate a Mexican and a McDonald's with one of those big milkshakes on the day, Jaru commented, and I was in and out of sleep in a car journey. So to be honest, I was too out of it to react in a way that showed how happy I was. I honestly expected to be hung, drawn and quartered for my first video, but this community is actually super nice. Thank you so much guys for all the support and keep being Sigma. If you're watching this and you didn't see my last 2 videos, feel free to slap them on and bathe in peak. I'd recommend watching both and leaving your threat to kill me in the comments of the second one, as they are both essential for the points I make. If you haven't seen either, please check them out, and if you're one of those people who watched the first one and not the second, please check out the second. Go in with an open mind even if you inherently disagree with the premise. For those who didn't catch the second, it's way better and more based. Bye guys, happy Delta June.